everyone, this is Shadow Mario 41, and welcome back to Let's Play Fire Emblem. In the last chapter, Nergal's men teleported inside the supposedly impregnable Castle Ostia to deliver a message that he awaits us on the Dread Isle. And although they were easily dispatched and the throne easily defended, the threat of Nergal still looms over the land of Elite. So what are we going to do now? Well, side quests, of course, but unlike other RPGs where side quests towards the end of the game consist of playing blackjack, roulette, racing NPCs, or other random acts of kindness while the world burns around us, this one's actually relevant as we jump into Chapter 29X, Battle Preparations. It's to do exactly that. It's to prepare for the campaign on Valor, the Dread Isle, against Nergal. We're going to strike at the heart of his organization. No story, no nonsense. Let's just get right into it. This is Chapter 29X. Again, to access this chapter, you have to make sure that one of the Knights of Ostia survives in the previous chapter. And oh my goodness, look who's relevant still in this game. Captain Fargus, one of the greatest characters in this game. Still relevant, still willing to help. Don't forget about him. May his acts not go unnoticed. He's still going to offer us passage to the Dread Isle. If we came to Vadon, he'll give us passage once more. Well then, let's get going, says Lynn. But Mark is offering strategic advice. It would be best if we outfitted ourselves before setting out. I agree, we need many supplies. That's what I said, for a campaign on Valor, why don't they ask the tactician? Alright, I can't complain because Hector at least consulted me in the last chapter, but come on, I could have told you that. And the castle town here is better stocked than Vadon, I'm sure. I mean, yes, it is Ostia, of course. We can empty the coffers here and sell the treasures if need be. Says Oswin. He's like, are you going to spend all the gold? All of it? And it's like, okay, well, I guess we can't empty all of Ostia's money, but within limits, of course. Say 30,000 gold. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. That seems like a reasonable amount. So yeah, again, you need one of the Knights of Ostia to survive to access this chapter. So make sure that you rescue one right at the start of the chapter. That's what I had Hawkeye do. And that guarantees that you're going to access this chapter. But even in normal play, most likely the Knights won't all be killed by the enemy. So you're pretty insured to get this chapter. But just to be safe, it's always good to have that rescue right at the start. And right here, you kind of get a little bit of a history, I think, of Ostia, and it's kind of cool because although it seems irrelevant and unnecessary, and it is very tertiary to the plot, it kind of gives you a little bit of perspective as to what's going on. Because this game for so long is focused on, you know, Eliwood's little group and going up against the Black Fang and going up against Nergal and the Morphs and all that stuff. And you kind of forget that, yes, there is a whole society, you know, behind this game in the lore that this is what we're really fighting for. We're not fighting for revenge, and we're not fighting for just the pleasure of killing Nergal or to uncover the mystery of the dragons, although that's certainly part of it, but we're really fighting for the people, and I think that's what this chapter actually gives you a good perspective on. His philosophy had its roots in the history of Ostia itself, that's right. Yet this thinking, it threatens the lifestyles of many of our aristocrats. Some groups may view my brother, blah, 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 views, blah, 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 mindsets, blah, 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 government, blah, 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 rich and famous and whatever. Can I just get on with it? It's going on for such a long time. But anyway, but this isn't the place for that kind of talk. We've got to get going. Come on! That's what I'm saying. Let's go buy some stuff. So this chapter lets you stock up on your items before going to the Dread Isle, the penultimate part of the game, the last little story arc. You have a whole chapter dedicated to preparation. So that, I think, goes to show you truly what we're going to be stacked up against. If they're giving you, if the game is generous enough, a game like this, generous enough to give you a whole chapter to prepare for the rest of the game, well then, we are in store for some tough stuff. But Hector has always been a man of firm character. I've always envied him for that. His ability to conceal any doubts he feels about himself or his actions. In other words, Hector is awesome. I know, I'm a little envious too. Of what? He doesn't second guess what he must do. No hesitation. I mean, I wouldn't hesitate about anything concerning my grandfather's health. Look at another plot line still relevant. This should just be called Chapter 29X. Relevant plot lines reunite. Fargus, Lynn's grandfather, which is still going on apparently. Oh my goodness, it's crazy how much is coming back. It's all full circle now that we're prepared to venture out to take on the last part of the game. It's like everyone is here, standing behind you. All of your efforts have paid off. I know what you mean. I can't bear to think of losing my mother. If I survive all of this, I want to be at my mother's side to do anything she asks. Nothing is more important than family. Yet in my heart, the plains still call me. The never-ending oceans of grass. The memory of that scent alone is enough to leave me weak. Lindis. Hey, what are you two doing? Let's get going, both of you! Well, first we must deal with the menace before us. Yes, before we deal with the grass that plagues the plains, we have to, of course, stop Nergal and his dragons. Naturally. Let's go. Everything dear to us. Now, something interesting to note is that if you do have characters with higher level supports with your lords, like if Hector and Lyn or Eliwood and Lyn have S level supports with each other, or A rank supports with each other, they will actually have an extra little conversation at the start of this chapter. But unfortunately, I didn't go for supports. However, this chapter may feature the greatest foe in all of Fire Emblem, and that is inventory management. Although not difficult, it is time consuming. Check this out. Alright, after all of that, we are finally ready to start Chapter 29X Battle Preparation. And take a look at the units we'll be using. Isadora? Marcus? That's how you know this is not a combat-centric chapter, but rather a movement-centric chapter. Really only picking them because they have high movement. Merlinus is level 4. Obviously, no reason to not deploy Merlinus because there are no enemies in this chapter. It is just for us to restock on important supplies prior to venturing out, although we can choose, and I will of course be choosing, to battle in the arena for a little bit of extra experience. Lord Hector, Sir Oswin, I brought you for 30,000 gold as you asked from the treasury. Look at that, 30,000 gold we just get in our inventory, and now it is up to us to make the most of these 5 turns to get supplies. But another thing I actually want to do in this chapter prior to that is I want to make sure Lucius can restore some of our items to some premier quality. Lucius has a staff called the Hammer-In Staff, and the Hammer-In Staff is kind of like notorious in Fire Emblem. You only get one of them in each of the games. And what it allows you to do, it allows you to restore a weapon to brand new condition. So I'm going to use the Hammer-In on Ellie Woods carrying the Wind Sword to make sure we get our Wind Sword back up to 40 uses. Because that is an incredibly valuable ranged weapon. I actually recommend, if you don't have access to the Wind Sword, to do that on the Light brand or something similar, because having a ranged sword for someone like Guy that doesn't normally have access to ranged attacks makes him incredibly versatile. And I'm going to do the same thing with Hector with his Wolfbeal as well next turn. So let's move him down there to wait. Now, obviously, this makes the silver card even more important. Marcus is going to start out with it. You don't really need the member card. There's no secret shops. But having that silver card is so important because it reduces all the cost of these items by half, and we are going to be shopping a ton. So my strategy in this chapter essentially involves having that silver card being passed around to everybody so that we can buy as much as we can. So first we're going to go to the armory. I actually wrote down a list of what I want to buy. This one is all the bows in the game. So we are all the main bows. So I need to buy 2 of these long bows. I dedicated myself to buying 2 silver bows and also a steel bow. And don't make the mistake of not bringing the convoy into this chapter because that's just unnecessary. So we're now going to trade that around. We are going to pass it now to you. I would like you to take the member card and silver card. Again, don't need the member card. It's kind of unnecessary, but that's okay. We're going to, again, continue our chain of command here. You can take that for yourself, and we're going to come up to here. Now, you only have 5 turns. Unfortunately, you do have the same stipulation of being unable to take nils into this chapter, so you can only get the silver card to 5 of the armories or vendors. So I'm going to pick these 5 up here. This last one over here, I'm just going to send Priscilla right now. It actually only sells magic tomes, and I have a ton of magic tomes already. So all I need to buy is I need to buy 1 divine tome, and that's it from this shop. So that's why it's not a big deal that I can't take the silver card there. Yes, it would be nice. It would save me a little bit of money, but not necessary at all. Everyone else I'm going to have move down here because I want some of these characters to take on the arena. That's another reason why I have Canis here, because Canis can provide some much-needed healing. But first, I think our first arena contender is going to be... let's make it Lowen. Let's have Lowen be our first arena contender. Here we go! Now, this is unpredictable. This is something I could lose. Would I like to wager 720 gold? Now, the way the arena works is you get to battle an enemy that's generated for you to fight, and typically the strength of that enemy is actually measured based on the wager. You can kind of predict what it's going to be like. So we're going to go up against a paladin. Lowen with his lance equipped, though, should have the advantage over this paladin with the steel sword. Although he will take some damage, this is going to lead to some valuable experience. Now, the weapon you have in the arena generally gets reduced down to its basic form. Like, Lowen, I think, technically had a silver lance equipped, but it gets reduced down to the iron lance when he goes to fight, and he's going to score a critical to really wow the crowd. Look at that. You can hear the cheers from the audience as he scores that critical hit for Lowen. So yeah, if you want, Lowen to have an axe equipped, make sure you have that in your inventory. And I'm going to double my gold for winning that. Very nice, very nice. Like I said, unfortunately, I can't use nils, so we do have to wait until next turn for someone else to challenge the arena. But I am going to use Canis to heal him back up to full health. That was an exciting first arena bout. There's going to be 5 of those in this chapter, which should be really exciting. But that's it for right now. Everyone else is good, so... No enemy phase. This is gonna go so fast. There's no enemy phase to worry about. All right, first what I want to do now is I want to move to this armory. And we now have Isadora with the silver card. So this is the sword vendor. From the sword vendor, I want to buy 3 killing edges. I also want to buy 3 silver swords. In fact, I might get 4. I might up it if I have more in the end. Nice. Yeah, let's get 1 more. I also want to buy 2 steel swords. And I would like to buy 2 lance reavers. Alright, that's it. Okay, now I would like you to grab those things. Why don't you grab for me the silver card? I don't need the member card. I don't know why I have it. You can take that. And we're just going to fly up over here so we can visit the next thing next turn. Lowen, good job in the arena. Well done indeed. Well done indeed. We are now going to have Hector take on the arena, but first I do want to patch up his weapon. But yeah, I think we're pretty much in good formation here to take on everything else. Yeah. Let's have Marcus move back up here, as well as Priscilla move back up here to help the movement. Generally in this chapter, like I said, there's no enemies, so you want to take units with high movement. That's really the most important thing. So let's have Lucius come down and heal up Hector. We're gonna actually no, not heal him up. We're gonna use the hammering on his Wolfbeal, Hector's special axe. You cannot get another one if you are not playing Hector's mode. Like in Eliwood's mode, we got another Rapier. If you do play Hector's mode, you do get another Wolfbeal. But since we are not, you normally don't get another one. So I want to make sure it's at full strength as Hector comes in here to take on the arena. Welcome to the arena. Would you like to wager 580 gold, a lower wager than last time? So this should be a pretty easy fight for Hector. Oh yeah, this is going to be an absolute joke. Look at this. Coming in with an Iron Axe versus a Bishop of Lightning. I mean, it barely leaves a scratch. Ooh, a miss though. I mean, anything can happen in the arena. Anything can happen. You can also... Oh! Hector, come on! Do it up and down! What are you doing? Hit him! Oh my gosh, this is going to actually be really close. Okay, good. A little big dodge there, and this should seal the deal. Okay, excellent. Hector, a little bit of a scare there. A little bit of hesitation, but he gets the job done in the end. We'll get some more. An important thing to keep in mind is you can press B at any point to yield in the arena. So it's not like you're locked in to the death. If you get it in time, you can interrupt the combat and press B to pull out of the arena. So that's important, although you do forfeit your wager, of course, if you give up. But that's okay. Better than dying, right? Move on to turn number 3. We can have Clarina now visit this armory to buy some stuff. This is the Lance shop, so let's see what we want for lances. I want to make sure I buy 4 silver lances. I want to make sure I buy 2 killer lances. I have this all written down beforehand. And javelins, of course, the ever-important javelins. We want to get 6 of these. 2. And there's 3. And there's 4, and there's 5, and lastly 6. Now we probably don't need all of these items. Like I'm not saying we're going to go through 6 javelins. But you never know. Like I always like to be over-prepared rather than under-prepared, especially since we have the time to do it. That's the thing. And I'll give that stuff now to Priscilla. There we go. We might as well take that silver card so we can go ahead and buy some stuff. And wait right there. I think everybody else is good down here. Hector, good job in the arena. You had your arena run. Great job. Next, we're going to take Wrath into the arena. So let's do it. Wrath. Coming in. This could be a little tricky. Bring a bow user into the arena is not always the best idea, but we're going to do the best we can because we're going up against a druid. So this could be tricky. Wrath should be able to get 2 hits in, though, and should be able to dodge that flux. It shouldn't be too bad. Okay, good. He even dodged out of the way. Didn't even take any damage at all. Wrath having the best arena run of the bunch and gets some good experience from that as well. And we get some more money. Money's always good. All right, excellent, excellent. Nobody even needs to heal or do anything else, so I think we're set as far as that is concerned. Let me make sure that the one thing that you could actually have happen that you really, really, really don't want to happen is for Merlinus to actually get full. And it seems like he's in pretty good condition, but just to make sure, I want to grab a few more things off of him so that he doesn't actually fill up. I've had that happen in one playthrough, and it's absolutely the worst thing. If Merlinus actually fills up while you're shopping around, it's terrible because you're like, this is the one chapter I get to do this stuff, and Merlinus, the convoy, is full. Like, what the heck is that all about? Alright, anyway, we can have Priscilla now go to this armory. This is the Axe Armory, which is pretty nice. One thing that you could actually do, I don't think I ever pointed this out, is on a preview screen of the battle, like before you even start, if you click on an armory or a vendor, you can actually see what is available to buy there. But anyway, I want to buy 2 Sword Reavers. I want to buy 6 hand axes. I might actually buy 1 more. 3, and there's another. And there's another, and there's another. I think I'll buy 1 extra just because we have plenty of money. And I want to make sure I buy 1 steel axe as well. Nice, I'll buy an iron axe. And that's pretty much it. Generally, I'm going to pretty much discard iron weapons after this point. But Lowen still has an E in axes, so I want to make sure he has a fresh iron lance for him to use. Good job, Raph, with your arena run. I really like that out there. Way to go. Canis, it is now your turn to jump into the arena. Let's go. This is bringing a magic user into the arena. Let's see how this works out. Welcome to the arena. Would you like to wager 740 gold? Sure. Oh, we're going up against a Sage, which means we will have weapon triangle advantage. I like the sound of that. Let's go, Canis. Bringing out that Flux Tome against the Sage, and strikes true. Now here comes a fire, and he gets hit in the face. Oh no, Canis could be in a bit of trouble. Actually, this could be a very close bout, because depending on the hit rate of that fire, Canis does not have a lot of health. So if he keeps getting pelted in the face by it, this could actually be problematic. And if one of his fluxes misses, I mean, not likely, but still, it could happen. It could happen. Anything can happen in the arena, including a critical hit to finish off the enemy Sage. Canis, again, showboating for the crowd, and the crowd goes wild as the Sage goes down. Nice, a little bit of extra experience. 1480 gold. I like the sound of that. And let's have Lucius patch up Canis right here. We're going to use... don't want to make sure I accidentally don't use the last hammer in, because that would actually be terrible. We're just going to patch up Canis a little bit right there. Excellent. Excellent. Now this, of course, in the game is the last chance to buy items, so you are free to spend all of your gold if you want. So that's, that's an important thing that you can consider. I want to make sure Lowen takes away some of these items so Priscilla can hold more stuff. Lowen can actually use the hand axes, which is pretty funny. So, another thing in this chapter that's pretty important, if you are playing Hector's mode only, if you actually have Barter, yes, Barter, remember that guy? Raised up to a level 5 warrior, you can actually recruit another unit in this chapter. A unit by the name of Carla, that's Carl's sister, will actually appear on this map, and you can talk to her with Barter, your warrior. Everybody's good, right? Yeah, everybody's good. Next turn. You can actually talk to her with your warrior Barter, and they will actually battle. And if both units survive the battle, which, by the way, in order to do that, you should equip Barter with an iron rune, so he doesn't get criticaled, and like an iron axe, so he doesn't like completely destroy her if he hits, even though his hit rate would be really low. You actually recruit her, so you can recruit an extra unit in this chapter only if you're playing Hector's mode, which is pretty cool. Alright, let's do our last little bit of shopping. We saved the best for last because we need elixirs, and we need a lot of them. In particular, I would like to get 3, 4, I would like to get 8 of them. 5, 6, 7, and 8 elixirs. Actually, I'll buy 1 more just for good measure. And I want to buy 1 mend staff. And I want to buy a recover staff as well. I don't think I'll need restore, although I have plenty of restore saves. I don't need one of those. So I think we're good here. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. Nice. I don't need a door key. There's no more use for that. And that's it for all of our shopping. Do I want another one of these? Oh, that's magic stuff. I don't need any more of that. I think we're pretty much good. We've stocked up on supplies. Let's have one final arena bout. Please don't let me down. Eliwood saving the best for last. Here we go. Our main lord going into the arena. 590 gold shouldn't be too bad. It is a Valkyrie with fire, but Eliwood's resistance is pretty good because we have a good Eliwood. He should be able to make mincemeat of this Valkyrie. Yes, good. To be able to tank that hit. Come on, Eliwood with the Iron Sword, leaving the Valkyrie with 1 HP, and the crowd is on the edge of their seats as Eliwood now charges up and prepares for his final attack and strikes true. The Valkyrie goes down, and Eliwood wins the bout. We are 5 for 5 in the arena. The arena can be a pretty risky endeavor because, you can go up against something that has weapon triangle advantage or something that just makes mincemeat of you, but we got pretty lucky there, actually. I have to say, all those matchups were generally in our favor. It all went very well. We were able to restore the uses of our Wind Sword and of the Hector's Wolfbeal, which is pretty nice. And other than that, we are pretty much good to go as far as battle preparations. I feel prepared. I'm now well stocked here for my final campaign against the Nergal in the Dread Isle. It should be good. We're gonna break out all of the tools that we have hidden to us, including silver weapons, killer weapons, brave weapons. There's no reason to hold back anymore. That should cover it. Let's head out for Badon. Then to the Dread Isle, says Eliwood. And trouble is still brewing though over at the Dragon's Gate. We are not done yet. I thought it was gonna be like, oh, that's it, right? Let's go. Yay, we're gonna march forward. It's like, oh no, there is evil afoot. Welcome home, Master. Limstella, look at this. The children's Dragonstone. Oh, what will you do with it? I will infuse it with quintessence, of course. While we were busy just going around doing side quests, it looks like more trouble is brewing on the Dread Isle. This is the Dragon Girl, Ninian's essence. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. With this, I'll be able to call dragons whenever I please. Shall we begin the process right away? No. I lost some quintessence from the injuries I took from Athos. To summon the numbers I need, I must have more essence. One must be fully prepared when dealing with dragons. If they wrested free from my control and killed me, all would be for naught. Yes, so even Nergal is still somewhat, not intimidated, but somewhat wary of the strength of dragons. He knows this is no laughing matter. He's not one to summon them forth and then have them immediately destroy him. I fear to report that the quintessence from the Black Fang has all been used. Where shall the next harvest come from? Just like crops in the field. All the materials we need are heading this way even now. I see. Eliwood and his friends. Yes, of course. Eliwood and his friends must possess very strong quintessence, and they will be the final key used for this. That's right. I will crush them, steal their essences, and call forth my dragon. All right. Well, it seems like the table is set for the last arc of Let's Play Fire Emblem. We are journeying to the Dread Isle to take down Nergal once and for all. This is Shadow Mario 41. Now that I'm prepared, I'll see you next time for Chapter 30 of Fire Emblem, which should be a marathon. See you guys then.